Okay, everyone, welcome to the Ninja Lounge. We are happy to present you another AMA today, and we have Ember Token. We have here today with us JR and Batman. JR, if you would like, let's start with you, and if you'd like to present yourself and give us a short introduction, about your experiences within the crypto space and outside of it.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to. So, hey, everybody. My name's JR, John, as many know me by. I've been a designer, brand strategist, illustrator, and UX / UI designer for about 14, 15 years. I didn't come from the early days of the crypto space. I started my first company. I'm 39 now, but I started my first company when I was 23, and sold that. It was a small creative agency. I was 28 and learned a lot from it, but just really wasn't fulfilled, working for the company that acquired me. And I really just love entrepreneurship. I've been building brands for everything from mom and pops all the way to Fortune 500 and some Fortune 100 companies. So my experience really stretches outside of crypto pretty heavily. I got involved on I dabbled in crypto, probably not as early as Matt or Batman did, but I did as a consumer. I was interested in it. I had a few buddies that got me into it back in, I think, about 2017, I want to say. And I had an opportunity to bring a product/project to market late last year. And unfortunately, that project, had some complications. I know we're all used to that, unfortunately, in this space. And instead of just, falling in and going downhill with it, we said, look, let's actually create a project that could bring some relief to people in the crypto space. And so everything from branding, marketing, illustration, graphic design, everything you see on our white paper and the core design of the site is really a big part of what I do outside of my CEO fiduciary responsibilities. We started Ember, so I can kind of jump into if there's any questions you have on my background. I'm happy to speak to those.
Yeah, I mean, if Batman wants to do the introduction of himself
Sure.
as well, and then we can jump into the project. But yeah, I mean, in regards of your experience, seems like you are really, you have a heavy background over there outside of the crypto world, which it's not unrelated.
And Matt and I, before he speaks, we go.
Yeah, I mean, it's always good to have that experience, to bring that experience in the crypto space, because most of the times some of the projects turn out to be big, and the people that are behind the project, they cannot manage it when it comes to the community, when it comes to the decision making, all that stuff. So definitely, you need some experience over there.
Absolutely, yeah. And Matt and I go back a good ways. We personally know each other. We live about 20 minutes from each other. Longtime friends and business colleagues, long before crypto. He was my first phone call whenever I had a chance to bring this other project to market, and we've been jamming together since. So I'll let him speak to his experience now.
Yeah, how's it going, everybody? I'm gonna do the best I can. I'm on my phone. I'm not near a landline or a cable, so hopefully you can hear me okay. I've been in the software development career for about almost 20 years now. I've been doing it for a long time. Anything from mobile applications to websites to Fortune 500 companies. I've probably built some of the stuff that each of you have used or visited at some point or another. I've been kind of all over as far as types of projects, from cybersecurity to anti-fraud, to e-commerce, so a wide variety of skills there. I was mining Bitcoin back in 2010. It was worth like $300. I spin it on a nice keyboard, and I've kicked myself ever since. So I'm one of those guys. But yeah, other than that, I think John hit on all the stuff as far as what this past year's looked like for us, and just really excited to be launching Ember Token this weekend and to have a full-blown agency that backs the entire thing. It's just the next chapter of our lives, and hopefully a bit longer than a chapter, hopefully the rest of the book. So yeah, open any questions, whatever y'all have that I can answer, feel free.
Sure thing. Thanks, Batman. Yeah, great experience over there for you as well when it comes to the security, which is something that we need in this space. And we as well here in the Ninja Lounge have a podcast actually every 2 weeks, every 2 weeks in Fridays. So yeah, we have some really great people over there leading that podcast. So maybe we can bring you in as well at some point. That could be a good
absolutely.
one.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Awesome. So, JR, what is Ember? How did you guys come with this idea? And are you solving any problem? Do you have like any utilities, or is it like meme hype coins? So let's deep dive into it.
Yeah, so kind of proud to say we're not a meme hype coin. Everything we do is with a lot of purpose. Matt and I came from a failed project that unfortunately was victim of hacks and rug pulls and things like that. And so we said, look, how do we take the experiences that we have been through in our professional careers outside of crypto? I've been self-employed again since my early 20s. Matt started his first company as a freelancer a long time ago. So we come from that entrepreneur background, and we said, how do we institute a little bit more, well, really a lot of it more hope, trust, security, transparency, honesty, and like goodwill in this space. This space is filled with a bunch of good and unfortunately a lot of bad. And I said we need to be a good shining light in the dark alleys of crypto, and I've kind of said that over and over. And when it came down to us trying to potentially recover the last project, we determined it just wasn't in our best interests, and really at the time the communities. So we took our experiences from that and said, hey, let's not just build a token. We actually want to build a full-blown agency. So we registered our LLC, Ember Agency LLC, out of Wyoming here in the USA. We are a fully established business. We are a business first before we are a product. We are a business that will have an umbrella of products over time, starting with the Ember token. So a little bit about our agency. We noticed, the quality of code, the quality of brand, the quality of design, graphics, marketing, communication, media, etc. in this space it has room for improvement, as nicely as I can say that. And I mean, there's a lot of great brands out there, don't get me wrong, but we said, how do we bring better and goodness in general, and greatness to the space? And we figured we could start by offering our services. So really the core, function of Ember as an agency is to serve other projects in the community. We are, yes, a token, we have a token rather, but we are consultants as well. And that really ties into our utility, which I'll get into in just a minute. So at our core, we offer advisory. As you can see right there, it's a great place to stop. So we offer advisory, branding, code, and design. And so we have aligned ourselves not only with great clients, but also great thought leaders and digital experts in the blockchain space. David Hunter of Block started to definitely name one. Crypto Stu, who I mentioned in chat or early on the call rather, is one of our advisors. We built an arsenal, and you can see our corporate structure in our white paper. We built an arsenal of advisors because, in my opinion, and I said this before, the best leaders in the world are also the best listeners. And while we're strong in the things that we're good at, we want to listen to those that are even stronger in the things they're great at. And so we onboarded Stu. We have heavy, business advisory, risk management advisory, token and crypto economic advisory, and an attorney on retainer who is also got an opportunity in our project to be a part of the team. And so that advisory board just keeps us focused, keeps us guided, and we're looking to work with other projects in the space. So that's really a rundown of who we are as a business. Ideally, what we're looking for are projects in the space that are either struggling with their marketing, struggling with their branding. They have bad codes, they have bad actors potentially, on their team, or we're victims of bad actors or victims of rug pulls, where we could say, hey, let's do a really thorough, 20, 30-point checklist, understand where your gaps were, understand, where we can come in, help provide some relief, some value, leadership, et cetera, and either help you relaunch your project or provide relief to to some of your investors that may have invested in your token. We don't just work with recovery projects. That is a big part of our utility. We do work with brand new projects. In fact, when we first launched our agency, we got in with the guys at BD Capital. They were referred to us from former colleagues on the last project, and they were actually becoming advisors on Beast Protocol. So if you guys take a second, please go check out Beast Protocol. You can find them on Telegram and Google them. You'll find them. Really, really great group of guys that actually joined our advisory team as well. You can see them all listed there. So long story short, we said, if we're going to enter this space and do this again, sweat equity another time, we're not going to fast track it. We're not going to hype it. We're not looking to shill this and get a bunch of Jeets in here. We said, let's focus on structure. Let's focus on security and make sure that we land on our feet, given what we had just come from. So we didn't hype our pre-sale. We didn't even market it. And that's literally what I do for a living. We told some people from the previous project about it, just kind of in passing. They kind of told their friends, and matches lit matches. So we had anticipated raising $50,000 in our pre-sale over the course of about 45 days. Very, very low key, word of mouth, very small market cap, and just to kind of get this out there and build stability. We ended up doing over our capacity and our initial goals rather in just 5 days, and that was really exciting. So I'll let Stu speak to that, but and I'll wrap up one last thing. So beyond our services and our advisory and everything else that we bring to the table for other coins that are looking for solid leaders that they can trust, that are fully doxed. Our entire team is fully doxed, both to InterFi, who have become partners of ours as well, and Blockstar. But beyond that, our token is a token of refuge. And what we committed to doing, one of the main influences behind us building Ember and the brand name is to be an afterglow. A lot of people feel the pain of bad actors in the space and rug pulls and hacks and things like that. And I said, well, what if we work to recover those funds through unique tokenomics? And what we determined, is that we can scrape out of we have a 90-10 tax, but we can scrape 2% of every transaction into BNB that will be aggregated. And our first recovery project is listed on our website. You can go there and check it out. But we determined, hey, it's time to start helping these investors get their money back. We'll never ask them to reinvest that in our project. That's up to them. We just want to drive honor and good deeds in the space and show that good people exist, honest people exist, and good business leaders can really exist in the space and drive change. So that is a big foundational piece of our token, is working with struggling, rugged, hacked, or exploited projects. And we may not be able to work with all, but we definitely want to see what's out there and see where we can leverage our talents and our token to be able to provide support.
Well, that was a great introduction to the project and what you guys want to do and achieve with it. Thanks very much, JR.
Sure.
So, the first question could be, say, when someone first comes into your website, like, why? You kind of explained it, but why do you want to, instead of getting all this money, from reflections or from the agency, putting back to the project, the actual process, how can you say to, not convince, but, what could you say to the investors that are going to buy the Ember token? Like, if they ask you, put all this money instead of, to rescue these projects, put it back to our project. So what could be your answer over there? Because, in the end, be like a big amount of money, right? So everyone wants to see a benefit on their portfolio, on their wallet.
Absolutely. So I'll let Stu speak to the kind of mechanics of our tokenomics and why we did it the way we did, and really how our contract is future proofed. We put that on our website. As far as the actual meaning and purpose, the previous contract the previous project that we were a part of, you tend when you're when you put yourself out there as a thought leader or just a good person who wants to bring goodness, which we really tried on our last one, you build relationships, and those relationships can build friendships, and those friendships breed trust. We built a lot of trusting relationships with our original pre-sale investors in the last project, and through that, we said, look, we marketed this organically. And, I had a lot of people come to me and be like, dude, you're a professional marketer. What do you mean you're not going to advertise? You're not going to, hire, and do call channels constantly. And I'm like, I have a plan. Like I know what I'm doing. And we broke a record on that project, and it was fascinating to see it all kind of come to life. Long story short is we built a lot of good relationships, and I have family, friends, clients, neighbors, cousins, you name it, and a lot of these people that are personal in my life, and some who became personal, people who I met through the community, where I'm thinking, how do we help recover your money? I don't care if you turn it back and buy Ember with it. That's your choice. I'm not going to use that as a marketing scheme to go back and say, hey, we're going to help you recover your stolen B&B, which to the tune of about $1,900, by the way, that was stolen. We're not going to help you just recover your B&B. You got full reign with it. Like that's not, there's no marketing scheme to get you to go and reinvest it into Ember. Our hope is they will, but I'm never going to ask them. That's their choice. We just feel that honor and integrity is lacking heavily in this space, and we want to bring change to that. I know we're probably not the first to do that, but the way that we're doing it is what I think makes us unique, because we have 3 areas to earn rewards and drive growth with this. One is with our 4% reflections, and our 2% obviously going, not out of that, it's 4%. 2% of our 10% taxes going obviously to the recovery fund. The rest you can see on our website or look in our white paper. I'll let Stu speak to those. But outside of that, we're also contributing to a reward pool from our service offerings. So as we build in service contracts, hypothetically speaking, we do $100,000 in, greenback, in other, USD, service work, consulting, branding, web design, so on and so forth, with other projects in the space. We are contributing 3% of our gross profits into a pool for Ember token holders to have. So you're not just earning off our product, you're earning off our service as well. And then the third element is actually those who hold our NFTs, which I can talk to you later and give someone else a chance to talk. But those who hold our NFTs have access no matter what level you get. There's going to be 3 levels. The top tier levels will actually get you access to a reward pool, and that based on however many you get or what the value is of that is kind of your share in that reward pool, which I'll let Stu speak to as well. So it's like you have these multipliers to some degree. They're not actual multipliers, but we want everybody to see the benefit in doing good, knowing that, hey, if we're going to scrape off B&B to help go recover, as you saw on the website there a minute ago, the Coyote Project, investor money. We're not looking to relaunch that for them or anything like that. We're just looking to help investors get their money back. Once that's done, we're going to move on to the next one. So we're hoping that we get recommendations and referrals. And the last thing is really just if we're going to do that, and you're getting into a project that's going to help bring goodness and therefore less profits to the core team, we designed that specifically. In fact, Matt and I didn't even take team wallets. There's no dev wallets in this. We have allocations for our advisory team, and that's it. We didn't have any to ourselves. We wanted this to be a community coin. So to reward those who want to help us, kind of fight with good, we wanted a multi-tier reward structure that would allow people to make earnings or reflections, if you will, off of our token, off of our service, and off of our NFTs. So I hope that kind of covers it.
Right. Okay, so you were part of the previous team of the previous project. It happened what happened. So now you're trying, to give something back and try to help those who were investing there. So in terms of Ember now, what have you guys done different? So to avoid, in terms of security, safety, and all that stuff, to avoid the same things to take place again. If you could elaborate on that.
Absolutely.
JR, do you want me to take that one, or do you want to
run with it? No, I'll give my voice a rest. You guys don't need to hear my voice. I'll let Matt talk.
I'll let you take a sip. So as far as what we've done differently, everything. We've done everything differently. The previous team's ownership is not involved with this project whatsoever. In the other project, John and myself were head of branding and vision and marketing and technology. The only exception was the contract developer, which was previous ownership was their idea, and that person was not doxxed. The contract itself would have been fine had those issues not happened. So I'll start with that part. David Hunter is extremely well known, completely doxxed. He's our contract developer. It's a brand new contract. We're not taking any of the old pieces from the previous project. We've gone through 2 audits, one with Interfi and one with Blockstar. Both of them received very high scores. The entire team, no matter if they have access to the contract or not, is 100% fully doxxed, including our advisors, anybody that's helping with marketing, anybody that's on the Ember team is completely doxxed. We're not working with anybody that's not KYC. On top of that, we've added additional advisors. We have John mentioned that we've got a legal team on retainer. We have a security advisor or a risk advisor that's at a very high level for a very respected, large financial company in the United States. I'm not going to throw that name out there, but so we have like really solid advisors that can help us go through all of that. The launch is going to be on Blockstar's exchange. So it's completely locked down from any known security vulnerabilities that some other exchanges may have. And we'll have the swap available both on our website, which the DApp is being built by David Hunter, and on Blockstar's website. We'll be adding other stuff later. And then the final thing that I can think of off the top of my mind is that we've talked to our advisors and David, and we're going to implement a 2 out of 3 multi-sig wallet for contract transactions. So it'll be John and myself and our CFO will each have a signature, and we'll have some legal background where, say that somebody gets hit by a bus kind of issue arises. Our lawyer will also have access to something like that. So we have put in a ton of security measures for everything. And we're completely locked supply. So there's no mint function. There shouldn't ever be one anyways, but so nothing like that. So I hope that answers that question.
Yes, of course. And who will be the contractor? Will it be David from Blockstar, or will it be like a multi-sig wallet as well in between you guys?
It's going to be something that's transferred over to us. So right now, David has it, and he's going to set it up to go live. And once that's ready, he's going to transfer ownership to a Ember-controlled wallet, which is actually a cold storage so it's completely offline, and we will lock it down even further. So it's not going to be held on like MetaMask or anything like that.
Right. Yeah, it's kind of good, I know it might sound like harsh, but coming from a project like the previous one, so you need definitely to build trust when it comes to even the previous investor, even to the new investors that they will learn the whole story, the background story of it. So yeah, definitely it's good, to have all these security aspects around the project.
Yeah, we've taken that extremely serious with all the security measures and making sure that we've learned from others' mistakes, and we've gone above and beyond what we felt was even necessary at this point.
Right.
Yeah, just to add to it, if I can add on what Matt's saying, a lot of the previous community had reached out directly to Matt and I. Matt was really a rock to provide transparency into our good intentions here. It doesn't, for any skeptics out there, all I can tell you is that it takes it takes a lot of brass to, in other words, a lot of guts to come off the coattails of a fallen project, go through that pain. I was out 5 figures of my own cash, plus Matt and I combined over 2,000 hours of devoted labor for 6 straight months. And to come off of that and try to recover is hard enough. But we saw it in ourselves to not just build another product, but build a business first and focus on security and governance first, and then build the product from it, and then be willing to give away upwards of, over $500,000 donated back. This is not a refund. We are not tied to that project. I want to be very, very abundantly clear. This is not a refund. This is a donation on behalf of Ember Agency to rugged investors from the project that we left. And to be able to do that and be willing to give away that many profits takes a lot of planning. It takes an immense amount of planning and number crunching. And that's really where Stu came in. He was a personal colleague of mine through my other company. And I knew that he had extensive experience in staking and really just, kind of the crypto ecosystem in general. And it started with, let me ask you a few questions, to, hey, do you mind chiming in on this in the community, to, hey, we could really use you long term, to, a slow hill upwards. And I just want to put that out there that, it takes a lot of, there is a lot of risk involved in what we do, because we're willing to give away such a big percent. But once that community is recovered, once we're done with Coyote and hopefully those, investors are made whole, we are going to be looking for others. And ideally that fund will become somewhat of, I don't want to use the right term here, or the wrong term rather, but an angel investment type of fund, where it may not always go to a rugged project. There's things that we want to build as a team. There are solutions out there that are just half built and lacking. And I think we could bring a lot of creative thinking, value, et cetera, to the space. So I just want to put that out there. Anybody that naysays or says, oh, I've seen this before, you really haven't, because we're not just willing to give away our profits from our token. We're willing to give away profits and earnings from our service work as well. We're not just going to sit back and watch our coin grow. We're out there helping build better brands, build better relationships, better security, better economics, for other projects that want a fighting chance in this space. So just wanted to close that out.
And just a quick one, will the refunds, let's say, the like recovering the previous project, will they come only by the tokenomics, by the taxes of Ember, or will they come as well from the Ember agency as well, a part of the revenue out of it?
So right now they're just going to be stemming from the 2% recovery fund. If we have explosive growth, which, obviously we love that. We're more of a slow and steady wins the race kind of team. But and I think obviously the space needs some more of that. But long story short, we're going to make, decisions internally on what's going to be the best fit. If we have the means to be able to contribute more, great. But as of right now, it's going to be based off the 2% recovery fund. And Stu, if you want to speak to how, a lot of that's going to be done, I think it'd be a great, branch for you to step in, because they're actually going to be claimed. It's not going to be airdropped due to securities and things like that. So if you want to speak to that, and introduce yourself, feel free.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, John. So first off, Crypto Stu, I know I've touched on when we had the brief intro last week, but I've started a firm end of 2021 called Block Syndicate. And what we do is primarily focused on individual and corporate investment planning, staking planning, and ecosystem entry and exit into everything that DeFi has to offer, whether that's NFTs, personal investment, Web3, and really the ecosystem connectivity there. So when I got in touch with Matt and John really jumping into what they wanted to do, that was really my entryway into helping them really align the math on how they were going to be able to accomplish all these things that they wanted to do. Really from whether that's the rewards pool, taxes interaction, really, because a lot of the projects that everyone sees that has some really great ideas and have a lot of great drive, at the end of the day, the math doesn't add up. And then that's usually the kind of the cause for downfall, and that we've seen a lot of projects that have some complex interactions going on in the background. So that's kind of where I come from. And that's my main role for John and Matt, is working through that. And so one thing that I want to touch on that John mentioned was kind of how that's going to be funded. the consultonomics, as John calls it, within the white paper there. One of the largest things there is that the percent buyback is from corporate revenue there. And so what they really do, and that's the percentage of overall Ember agency as a whole's corporate profits are going direct into Ember buybacks. I believe if you 2 slides down there. Yep, onto 11. So we have the 75% obviously being internal Ember agency profits from outside services. 22% of that is going into an Ember buyback, Ember token buyback. So that's going into corporate treasury for all the future uses of future liquidity, giveaways, buybacks, personal payments, things like that, what have you. But that's where you really want to call that out, because that's not a tax. That's a direct buyback from corporate profits onto the chart. Everybody loves having buy pressure. And that's what we've tried to mechanize here, is as low the amount of sell pressure as possible on the chart for long-term stability. And then the 3% profit sharing rewards to holders, that's the direct 3% that's going to be returned out. And there's a lot of information to come there, because that opens the door up for NFT holders, token holders. So sometimes there's a little bit of less is more kind of situation here with that 3%, but it opens us up to a lot of different mechanisms that we can use for staking rewards back to sharing rewards back to holders. So I definitely wanted to touch on that from a funding perspective, and then obviously to John's point, from the volume perspective of being able to distribute the long-term planning rewards, being essentially that most teams treat it as an ops fund or marketing, a 6% tax, what have you there. What we're really doing is very similar numbers that we see in a lot of different projects, but we're just allocating those taxes in a little bit different way. Because obviously with Ember Agency primarily being a digital and services firm, not as much marketing money that really needs to go in to fund that, because that's obviously all internal. So we're able to utilize a lot of those funds on the taxes as forward looking for the rewards pools, token recovery, and then future liquidity. So that I would say there's about 5% that in standard projects, when we see an 8 to 10% tax on a coin, would really be going towards internal marketing development. But by nature, the Ember Agency has that internally. So we're able to reallocate those for future looking mechanisms and rewards back to token holders as well as NFT holders in the future.
Okay, and if let's say we exclude the Ember Agency, which I think it could definitely keep the project there alive and keep growing. But if we exclude the Ember Agency, in regards of the Ember token itself, what is there anything that you could say that makes it sustainable and be there by itself, and that could drive not volume, revenue within the project, so you can pay off the expenses, etc., without needing volume on your chart, through your taxes? Because the volume, it's sometimes you might have it, you might not have it. So, what's if you could elaborate on that?
Yep, absolutely. So obviously the interactions between NFT sales and coins and token sales will be fairly intertwined there, with nothing, I don't want to say anything life changing from a tokenomics and structure there, but really being able to go in between that. Really the one thing from a long term, we are opening up staking. That's day one staking is going to be running through Blockstar. A lot more to come there. But we do have a percentage of the total supply going into single asset staking, which will be hosted on the Blockstar platform. So we're going down that path with some staking that's come, whether that's single asset as well as hopefully future LP. I can't speak for David Hunter, but I know that that's in the plan for Blockstar as well. Some overarching stability from a staking perspective, and that's the world that I've lived in. So that's definitely something that we are not just exploring, but opening up day one will be offered on Blockstar, and then long term the continued plans there with some of that future liquidity as well to be able to reward long term holders. And
Okay,
yep, sorry, and one also from an Ember token holder's perspective. Obviously, the multi-layer being exposed to rewards. Obviously, the NFT holders, the token holders directly for Ember reflections. Then in the consultonomics, so profit buybacks or buybacks for a portion of the Ember agency's profits. Then as well as future recovered projects. How Ember Agency is looking to reward the Ember token holders is actually essentially if there was a future project that was either angel invested liquidity or services, having rewards from those recovered tokens, then being able to actually being dispersed to the Ember token holders themselves. So there are 4 levels of exposure to, I'll say, market action, as well as an exposure to all future projects that the Ember Agency does support going forward.
Okay, yeah, sounds good. I mean, you need to have all these aspects over there. So it's all about making your project like being on autopilot, right? Because again, if you are dependent only on volume, then that's not sustainable for a project itself. And we have seen this like the last few months with many projects that they cannot survive because they don't have the necessary volume. Okay, and I can see on your white paper you have a backdraft tax. Maybe if you could touch on that a bit.
Yep, absolutely. So the backdraft tax, the real prevention is from the large whale dump from a single sale, trying to prevent that as much as humanly possible there to prevent, protect holders and reward holders for long-term holding. The backdraft tax is triggered by a sell which is greater than 5% of daily volume. And what that does is that is tripling taxes from 10 to 30, and all taxes stay the same. So the Ember Agency does not take a larger percentage of that of those taxes. So all from it pushes everything to a 12% reflections, 3% liquidity, 3% advisory, 6 for recovery fund and marketing operations. And so what this is really preventing is that one single wick down in a chart that obviously plagues a lot of projects as they're going through in the first handful of months. Long term, we do have the ability to turn these off in the future, but it really the drive was the stability and protecting holders from that one single sell off, from early investors being able to ride that pump and dump, which we're trying to stay away from as much as possible.
Okay, so the 5% is from one single transaction, right? Of the daily volume, you said.
That's correct.
And okay, so let's say someone wants to sell and has a big allocation, which could be, for example, 10% of the daily volume. Instead of doing it in one transaction, can he do in multiple transactions, or the contract can read his wallet and it will tax him?
Yep, absolutely. And so what it's really doing is forcing that ethical whaling that a lot of meme coins really struggle with, of everyone, sell on the down and it just takes the bottom out of a chart. It's really, really pushing large investors into being that ethical whale of, we want people to sell. Obviously, we're all here to make profits. But it's really that concept of being able to then, hey, at least if you're splitting that up into multiple cells, it's better for the chart, it's better for the community, and at the end of the day, that's how you should be doing this, as that riding that up and then riding that wave down as well. So that's really the reward for being that ethical whale versus the trying to have that one large sell off at a time.
Okay. Sounds good. Yeah, we covered it. Yeah, I think the next one, because I saw something really interesting when it comes to the NFT, you had some levels. So yeah, let's talk about the NFTs. What are the NFTs? What will be their purpose of them? Will there be any utility, or it will be just staking, rewarding?
Stu, if you want to talk to the mechanics of it, and then I'll get into, the adult coloring side of it.
Yeah, absolutely. So one of the large things was obviously with John's background and the ability of the Ember team to build, create, produce the branding. What we really wanted to do is, again, to have the other arm of the ecosystem being the NFTs and how that's going to interact with token holders, as well as long-term other support for the ecosystem as a whole. And so we're looking at three, I'll say, base types of NFTs. I know there's going to be some subsets there. But how this is going to work is that the standard base NFTs are going to essentially have a lottery ticket attached to them. Those are going to enter you into a recurring giveaway. It's not a guaranteed payout, but it's essentially that allocation and that lottery ticket into a rewards pool for the basic NFTs. The two higher are going to be essentially rare and super rare. The rares and super rares will actually being a higher value, cost a little bit more, but then what those are going to do, those will actually be buying into the direct NFT rewards pool. So the rare and super rare are essentially guaranteeing an allocation into those rewards pools that are going to NFT holders only. And so the level of rarity is what's going to essentially purchase a larger amount of allocations into that rewards pool. So obviously, the more rare, the larger portion of that NFT rewards pool that's going to be awarded to those NFT holders.
And is that the reward pool the same pool, the 3% pool that comes from the Ember agency?
That's
or
correct.
Is it a different one?
Yep, that's correct. And that 3% that's partial of the funding for this rewards pool will come from the Ember agency buybacks, as well as some internal buybacks that'll be feeding into this NFT rewards pool.
And in terms of numbers, that 3%, let's say on a monthly basis, like on an average, because you somehow know how much you can have, like in revenue-wise, in Ember agency. How much that 3% could be?
Are you referring to from the consulting side, or from
that will go to that pool? Yeah.
Okay. I'll hand that to John back to talk about the consulting revenue, and then I'll let him go from there. But I think that from the mechanics, I can jump back in if anybody has any questions.
Awesome.
Thank you. Thanks, man.
Yeah. So, I mean, I don't want to skip. I don't want to be too. I don't want to project too much, but I do have kind of a number in mind, and it's pretty aggressive, to go after consulting projects. But really, it's all going to come down to to our brand exposure and the value that people can see in us, to that they feel like they could use. If you like our style, you like our our trust factors, our value props, our design abilities, our clean code, and our growing ecosystem of advisors, trusted partners, et cetera. That's going to help us, hopefully infiltrate the market more and bring more opportunity, therefore bring more revenue. It's common for service-based, consulting businesses to do, high 6, low 7 figures in revenue in a year. So in crypto, that's honestly not a lot of money, right? Like when you're really talking about successful projects out there, it can be a lot of money, but the big tokens out there, I mean, some of these guys are producing that kind of that kind of volume in 30 days, right? But realistically, that's more the foundational side. Like we're going to be very selective of the projects we work on. So to me, it's a little bit more of a value add, or a bonus prop, if you will, to the to the token holders. Because we don't have to have that foundation to survive. The same way we don't have to just have the token to survive. They're going to both serve each other. My hope is definitely in the ideally high 6, low 7 figure range, but subject to change. So I really don't know if I want to project anything big out there. Just know that it's whatever we do, 3% is going to be basically contributed to the pool.
All right. Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, only if you had done any forecasts from your side, but if you don't, that's absolutely fine. At least we have any like rough numbers where that might be what that might be. But
I would I'll just throw in there real quick. I would say at a minimum, we're going to be forecasting. We're already in six figures each year. So at a minimum, you're talking 100 grand, and then 3% of that would be going to rewards pools, every month. But we have some big projects coming in. We've got some smaller stuff we try to help out with as well. So we don't have the down to the wire, but we do have existing clients, and we're going to continue to build that as well.
Right on. And back to the NFT. So 3 levels, 0 to 0.1 BNB, 0.5 B. Is this the price range for that level? Or is it for the lottery that they can buy tickets? How will it work? And how many NFTs will be in total?
So we're doing ours a little bit differently. We do have a really great algorithm and generator that Matt has produced. That is, it's native code that he's custom written to produce our NFTs. So level 1 and level 2s are both going to be digital in the sense of having a character that I've custom made that it really has some fun personality, and I don't want to share too many details just yet because we haven't released it. But the level 1 is just going to be that character with a series of different characteristics, whether it be facial expressions or his apparel, environment he's sitting in, background, etc. And those will they're all drawn by hand by myself. And then vectorized. So we do all of our NFTs out of vector artwork, and then those get randomized. But those will be very affordable. We want to shoot for like a $25 to $75 range for those. What that will give them access to is future access to a future lottery that we're going to do. So you may not get a lot of the you won't get access to the reward pool necessarily, but at least you're not just holding artwork. You're holding artwork that gives you a chance at a lottery. May not be heavy value, but you're also not investing a lot of money. The level 2 will also be that same character, but a little bit more of a scene or an experience. Again, don't want to give too much away. But the level 3s are really what I've been putting most of my work into. So again, my background is in illustration, and I thought, what a fun way. We're so crisp, clean, secure, sharp edges, straight lines, consulting, and everything that we do and everything we deliver. So I was like, what a fun way to, kind of change the optics of our brand. And I actually am taking the Ember icon and doing a wide variety of different textures, colors, themes, etc. And I just shared one in our Telegram group to that we have with JB. So if you're able to get that, and I don't know if it's in chat yet, I haven't looked, but if you're able to pull that up, awesome. If not a big deal. That's the first time I've really put anything out there for people to see. But each of these are all one-offs. I draw each one of them by hand. They are not auto-generated. They are drawn either with Procreate or Adobe Fresco on my iPad Pro, and take anywhere from 2 or maybe 1 upwards of 12 to 15 hours to make a specific one. And it's low res and fuzzy, obviously, with our watermark on there, for reason. But we are doing about 100 to 150. I have not fully decided. These will be our level 3s because they're all one-off handmade pieces of art by yours truly.
Awesome. And have you designed as well, like the color palette, etc., when it comes to the website?
Yes. Yeah. So again, my background in. Oh, thank you. I appreciate it. Yeah, I've been building brands, from small mom and pops all the way to Fortune 500 companies, like I said. So I've produced global brands. I've won some awards, or those brands rather, not me personally, but those brands have won awards that, I've gotten some recognition on. Go to any GNC, Publix, supermarket, Target, and you'll see my work on the shelf. If others want to share what work that was, they're welcome to, but I'm not here to really self-promote my non-crypto work. So, I do have a very extensive background in design, and I hope to bring some value into the crypto space with it. I have I'm producing these custom one-offs as I go. I have 3 that are already spoken for, that people have been in line for. And the others will be listed and are currently being minted and will be listed on Blockstar's NFT portal for sale, hopefully by launch, possibly right after.
Okay, so how many are you looking? If you sell all of the NFTs, how many USD or BNB are you looking to raise? And from that money, what it will be the distribution? Will all of them go to the pool, rewards pool, or will some of them go for development? What will be the plan?
So, we've put a lot of thought into, a lot of aspects of the, the business, given the circumstances and the environment we came from. We put a lot of our planning time, budgeting, et cetera, into that. And it's not an excuse. It's just we haven't really dove, because we haven't listed them for sale yet, so we haven't really dove into exactly where we want to apply those funds. We'll hit our operations wallet. We will likely leverage some of the funds for the pool. We'll leverage them for marketing, outreach, et cetera, but we have not specifically determined where those funds are going to go just yet. And we'll have about 100 to 150 of the level 3s. I might make more as I come up with other ideas. In fact, I have twin girls, and they're 12 years old, and they actually helped me produce a list of themes. For all of these, I don't know again if they got shared in chat or not. I haven't looked in the feed right now. I sent them to JV. Oh yeah, she did share them.
Yes, she posted.
So you can see all the themes. I've got cow prints. I've got like the hamburgers are most expensive, grass, so on and so forth. Some are going to be more abstract art. Some are going to be more vector. Other are more like an oil painting. So I've just got all these different compositions, and they are made by hand, and I have a laundry list to go through. So about 100, 150 of those. They will range anywhere. As you saw on our website, they do have a price range for those level 3s. The level 2s will be simpler. Everything is still handmade, but they're going to be a series of generated NFTs from the core illustration through our proprietary algorithm.
All right, Don. Okay, so to sum up, when it comes to the investor, he will be benefited 4% of the reflections, 3% of the pool from the agency, and from the NFTs if he buys, or will some of this amount of money raised from the NFT will go back to the token holders, or they will have to buy necessarily the NFTs to be part of it?
Stu, do you want to speak to that?
Yep. So the NFTs, the rewards pool, that is for NFT holders only. So that's going to be that delineation. The future recovered projects where the Ember agency, whether that's a percent of ownership or the allocation, that is going to be going to the Ember token holders. So we wanted to split that up a little bit there. So the future tokens from projects are going to be treated as very similar to the standard coin reflections. But then the rewards pool is NFT access only, similar to an NFT staking type program, but being direct airdropped to those NFT holders.
All right, and for the future projects, you are going to help, is this something that the team will decide or will be put down to the community to vote for?
It's really going to depend on the future project need. Because obviously some need they may just need branding and marketing support. Some are out of cash and need a code rework and liquidity. So it really comes down to the agreement for how the type of ownership or the allocation that's going to come from the future project. Treating it a lot like a consulting relationship and agreement there. Whatever comes back from that, whether that's a percent ownership of ongoing reflections or a one-time Ember allocation from those projects to be distributed out to the project.
Okay, makes sense. And the last one, I saw that you have an Ember swap. So is this is this live actually? Can people trade, and will it be only like BNB to your token, or will you have like other pools as well in there?
Yeah, so I'll speak to that. The site is live, and David is working on the DApp part of it. So it will be live and ready for Saturday. Right now, it's just going to be for BNB to Ember and vice versa, so buying or selling. And I believe the goal is to, as time goes on, add other tokens that we support as well.
All right. And in regards of the fees, are the fees the same like trading on PancakeSwap, or do you have lower fees because you don't take any cut out of these fees?
Yeah, there will be lower fees on Rockstar and our Ember swap. There'll be slightly higher taxes on Pancake. and on both Ember Swap and Blockstar, it's going to be backed by the same DApp, I believe, where it automatically calculates gas fees and takes care of all that stuff for you. And you are able to override it if you want, but we try to make it as simple as possible.
All right. And if there is any revenue out of these fees, will this go back to development or something like that, I guess? Or have you thought about it?
Haven't thought about it, honestly. So we'll be talking to David about that and our advisors and see what they think is best. But I think our overall goal and vision is to support the community as much as possible. So if it's best for the community, then it goes towards rewards pool, or maybe it helps build up the rewards, the recovery wallet faster, or maybe it goes towards other projects we want to help out. All that's to be determined. But we'll make sure that whatever we do is best.
Okay. So just to sum up, because kind of I'm done with my questions, I would like to move into the community questions. In regards of, so what is your total supply, and what is distribution of it? How much was for pre-sale, private sale, or if you had any seed sale at the same time?
I'll jump in there. So total supply is 10 billion. And again, I know Matt and John both touched on, there's no future mint. That is total supply for perpetuity there. 45% of that supply went to pre-sale. And we had we call it a privatized pre-sale because it was really for the small community within Telegram. It wasn't a true whitelist, so anyone could send to it. But it was really for those that were in the know. So it was a privatized pre-sale. So that's been filled. We had right at $120,000 worth of BNB supplied for pre-sale. And so that's going to, obviously the remainder of the 53% is going towards starting liquidity, and 2% is actually and then going to fund the initial staking pool across Blockstar.
Okay. And will there be any vesting when it comes to the pre-sale?
No vesting period as when it comes to pre-sales. So that is all fair launch from pre-sale wallets going out. One thing I do want to call out from the starting amount to then liquidity. Obviously, with BNB in a couple days in advance, I don't want to misspeak on my exact numbers, but our ratio for liquidity to market cap is going to be very high compared to the 8, 10, 20% that we normally see in the space. So from a stability to in the chart and the coin tokenomics there, we are going to have a very large amount of liquidity compared to starting market cap. Which again, really setting the coin up for stability long term. That's really where that 53% paired with the majority of raised BNB comes into play to support that starting market cap.
What will be the starting market cap?
In the area of $150,000 USD. Obviously, with BNB sliding, we are not pegged to anything of a USD. We do have the ratio pegged out to BNB to Ember. But so that's if it was launching today, I believe that number would be about $155,000 market cap.
Yeah, it will range somewhere in between.
Yep. So that's the range that we're looking at, and then from the starting liquidity, if everything pans out, we should essentially be having over 100% liquidity value at launch.
Awesome. Okay, and you are launching on the 17th. Is that right? What time?
We're launching on the 17th at 12 p.m. Eastern Standard. What's that in UTC? I can't think of it.
-4.
Yeah. So, we're on the Eastern time zone in the United States. So,
okay, I think that should be 8 p.m. UTC, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. When it comes to the time zones, it's kind of...
it's challenging, but we want to try to land where it's it's early, it's semi-early, or at least, late morning for, the West Coast, of the United States, but also not get too late on the other end of the world. We try to plan that time strategically. So hopefully that works for everybody.
Right on. Right. Yeah, I mean, guys, I do really like what you're trying to build over here. When it comes to all the security and all that stuff, again, coming from that prior experience over there, it's definitely like really good to have, and for people as well, the same time to give them this assurance over there. And I saw JB as well put it something in our group, which I definitely encourage to look into it. And yes, I'm done with my questions, and I will move into community questions. But before we move into the community questions, is there anything that you believe we didn't cover, or we didn't mention, or we just briefly touched on it, but it's really important for those who are listening to, to learn about?
I'll jump in real quick. So really nothing specifically, just more of a thank you. You guys here at Ninja had known, Matt and I and others, that are, also on our team from previous projects, and you've been objective and supportive, and shown a lot of heart, and just want to thank you for that. It's tough to find in this space. You really have to have thick skin, and in the end, that still only gets you so far. You have to have community, and we have some really awesome marketing plans in store. Everything from digital to real world touch and feel. We didn't really get into a lot of that. We'll save that for another one. But we have some really awesome stuff ahead. Once we're launched securely, we do plan on marketing pretty heavily. We want to securely launch. That's our top ticket, and that's why we trust David Hunter and the Blockstar ecosystem with Stu holding the reins to a lot of that. So we're thankful for everybody listening in today. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah, of course. Thank you, JR. Thank you, Batman. Okay, let's move into some community questions. If you are here on the voice chat, please just unmute yourself. And if not, you can type your question in the main chat if you're shy. So let's see who will be the first one.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
Hey, Chris. Good. How are you?
Got a couple of questions.
Sure.
So with the agency, that's where you're running the work from. You got advisory, branding, code, design, and all that on there. Looking at your organizational structure in your white paper, you don't have developers or anything like that. Who's doing all the work that you advertise through the agency?
Well, Matt and I do. I'll speak first, and Matt and Stu, you can chime in. So I do all of our design. I am in the process of mentoring part of our team on that supports the design efforts right now for a lot of our social media, and that would be we all kind of have hybrid roles. So you'll see Jessica, who is up kind of right next to me, Tom and Matt. She handles a lot of our project management, but is also doing a lot of design. And then Nick, who is our one of our business consultants, he's also going through a bit of a mentoring phase with me for being able to support our social graphics and communications. Development wise, Matt handles everything related to web. As we have to start somewhere. So as we grow, we will onboard more people to support those roles, and that way, we build a little bit more of a a columned, a siloed architecture of our infrastructure of our team rather. As far as anything else goes, development wise, I'm happy to let Matt relay that, but design wise, there's about 3 of us that handle a lot of our visuals.
Yeah, so and then I'll just say, go ahead.
Oh, sorry, I was just gonna say, so design wise, either design and basically branding wise, you said there's about 3 of you. Code wise, you have one person that's doing the web dev, custom contracts, and dApps and all that stuff.
So I'm doing all the web dev and software development. Right now we've got David, who built our contract, and as we get others, we have another source of 3 people. that is their trust, and they're also KYC. They're just not. They're more of like a contractor that does smart contracts and more back-end like a back-end API development, stuff like that. And then, as John said, as we build up our team and our customer base, that'll be growing. So I'm doing most of core development. I'm not doing any of the smart contracts as of right now. That's been David for our project, and for a few other customers we have, we've brought on KYC third party.
Okay, cool. And then I lost my place on the site. So regarding, I guess I might have missed it, but when you say empowering the new projects is pretty self-explanatory, but recovering projects, what is deemed as a recovering project? Just one that's, in a purgatory state, or I guess what are you guys doing what's that aspect of the project?
So we're going to put together a kind of a submit a project form, which is going to go through and vet the project itself, get some information, what happened, what do you need help with? Is it something where there's a security issue, there was a rug, there's a hack, things like that, where we can come in and help fix the issue, and they have a strong community backing them that wants to move forward? Or is it something where it was a great idea, a great project, that just kind of died off? Like maybe it's something where we come in and help with a marketing effort, or it could be any number of issues. It could be a hack or a rug where, similar to what happened with Coyote, where the community and the core purpose of it is solid, but they didn't have the know-how or the people to really make it work, and that's where we stepped in. So it could be any number of things, but we'll have a form to request to take submissions.
And just to add to that too, Chris, not every struggling project is a victim, right? Some of the struggling projects that we see, are just in some cases our own observation. They may have a great utility, it may have a great product or even a great community, but could use some help with the branding. I always try to be very respectful to the time people put into their identity and their brand presence, their brand value, and communication standards. But I think there's a lot of room for improvement in the space. And so sometimes struggling projects have a great value prop. They have a great mission, but they just don't know how to market. Sometimes you just don't have that talent on the team, or maybe they're using a cheap throw it together GoDaddy website and it's not communicative enough, or it doesn't represent their brand properly. They may have a great brand and an awesome promise and commitment, or even an active coin, but they're limited on their growth because they can't seem to get traction out in the community, or they can't grow their social media. So there's a lot of reasons that we want to work with struggling projects. Yes, to provide relief and help them for those that have gone through unfortunate circumstances, given that we've been through them ourselves, but also just being able to push our capabilities and God-given talents out to people who may find value in them. So I hope that answers.
Yeah, it does. Appreciate it.
Can I add to that question, Chris's question?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, so let's say you take over for a scam, like a project that rugged or had some major issues.
Talking?
Yeah.
It is.
What's
Gotcha.
up? Yeah, let's say you take over, right, for a project that had some major issues. Are you guys gonna assume the ownership of the project?
So that's where our legal counsel, that's a really, really good question. And I was expecting that to come up. So that's really where our legal counsel is going to come in. We have them on retainer for reasons, just so whenever it comes to working with other projects, we're going to have very, very specific contracts, legal binding documents. And that protects us, it protects the community, it protects both communities and, our delivery model. So in the essence of time, or the interest of time right now, the best I can tell you is that Interfi, when we told them about our mission and our plans, they have shown a lot of interest in helping vet. I've been referred actually to Chris, for the vetting process as well, through JB. She told me to make sure to reach out and said you'd be a great partner to work with. So, a lot to talk about there. We just want to put together a strong checklist that determines, who are the bad actors? Are they still, do they still have access to this? If so, then boom, new contract, if that's what it takes, right? So we just have to go through and do a really detailed risk analysis. And that's why we have our advisory team. And obviously you're looking to grow more and more partnerships with others in the space that have the same, positive and goal-driven, ambitions and commitments to drive integrity in the space. So, it's a great question, though. It's just we're going to have to kind of take it on a case-by-case basis. But anything we do is going to be wrapped in heavy layers of advisory and business, financial, economic, risk, and legal governance.
Gotcha. Okay, cool. I appreciate it, guys.
Sure. Z, did that answer your question okay?
Yeah, we're good. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet.
Thank you both. Great questions over there. Okay, next up. Anyone has any question? Just raise your hand if you're muted. If you are unmuted, just unmute yourself. Go for it. And by the way, just make sure you join their Telegram. So their launch is coming up anytime soon. If you just joined the voice chat or the AMA, you weren't here since the beginning, make sure to listen to the AMA. Have a look into their website, white paper, ask your questions over there on their Telegram. Feel comfortable with the project and make sure that you like what you are seeing over there. Okay, let's see. No more questions? Come on, don't be shy, guys.
Yeah, we're here for it. We're all about transparency as much as we can be. As a community token, and our value extends beyond our product. So if you have projects that you've been a part of, invested in, felt like they hit a roadblock with their brand, their marketing, obviously feel free to speak up, reach out to us. Maybe there's a chance that we could help and work with others in the space to do so. So any questions surrounding that, let us know.
Yeah, and I see you guys you can easily partner with a lot of projects out there because your utilities and especially with your agency that you have, you can easily cover a lot of different groups and a lot of different kind of projects. So yeah, definitely it's a good one to have over there.
Absolutely.
Okay, yeah. So seems like we don't have any questions. Okay then, JR, let's wrap it up. If we don't, sure. We don't have any questions. And again, please make sure to join their Telegram. JB has posted over there the links, and they are posted at the same time. In case that you cannot find them. So JR, yeah, please. It was a great AMA again. Really great project and what you guys are trying to build over there. And I wish you all the best. And you manage to keep building and keep delivering. Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Okay. So you're welcome. So a closing statement for you and a call to action for everyone who is listening in here and will be listening to the recording of the AMA. Sure.
Best thing I can tell you is good people exist in this world. Good people can exist and do exist in this space. There's real people that can bring real value, real change, and real transparency into the things that work as hard as we do for, and we're proud of our work. We're proud of our team. I don't think I would change a thing. The lessons we learned from our previous project is what prepared us for this. And had we not gone through that, we wouldn't have built the community we have. I wouldn't have made the friends I have, and I sure as heck wouldn't have the partners that I have. So I want to thank everybody who's committed to helping drive a really bright light in the dark alleys of crypto on our team. And hopefully we have a chance to make some changes there, and hope to hear from some of you on any suggestions or any creative or dev needs that you guys have.
Thank you very much, JR. And definitely please keep us up to date with any announcements or developments that you'll have over there. We have our group already set up, so please make sure to drop all the links over there. And best of luck with your launch, which is in 3 days' time. I think it's 8 p.m. UTC, if I'm not mistaken, if I did converting right. So thank you very much. Thanks for coming to the Ninja Lounge. I really appreciate it. And taking your time coming here to present your project. So everyone, please make sure to join once again their Telegram. Read the white paper, have a look into the website, and ask any questions that you might have to the team over there. They are really helpful in answering all the questions. So once again, thanks everyone, and stay tuned. We'll have some duck races.
Before you end the recording, just for those who are listening to the recording, it's 4 p.m. UTC, 12 p.m. Eastern for their lunch on the 17th.
I'm so bad. Thank you,
so
JB.
good with numbers, but so bad with time zones.
I'm so bad. I feel bad now. Okay, I will end the recording. We shouldn't have recorded this. I'm joking. Thanks everyone. Thanks for coming by, and thanks for listening to the AMA. And stay tuned for the duck race.